The Adventure of the Engineer's Thumb. Of all the problems submitted to my friend, there were only two which I was the means of introducing to his notice. This one was so strange in its inception and so dramatic in its details that it is worthy of being placed upon record. It was in the summer of '89, not long after my marriage. One morning, a little before 7 o'clock, I was awakened by the maid tapping at the door to announce that two men had come from Paddington and were waiting in the consulting room.
A. Knock at the door.
I dressed hurriedly and hastened downstairs. As I descended, my old ally, the guard, came out of the room.
I've got him here. He's all right.
What is it then?
It's a new patient. I thought I'd bring him round myself, then he couldn't slip away. There he is, all safe and sound. I must go now, doctor. I have my duties.
I entered my consulting room and found a gentleman seated by the table. Round one of his hands he had a handkerchief wrapped, mottled all over with bloodstains. He was young, exceedingly pale, and gave the impression of a man suffering from some strong agitation.
I am sorry to knock you up so early, doctor, but I have had a very serious accident during the night. I came in by train this morning, and a worthy fellow very kindly escorted me here.
I took up his card. Mr. Victor Hatherley, hydraulic engineer. I regret that I have kept you waiting. You are fresh from a night journey, which is, in itself, a monotonous occupation.
Oh, my night could not be called monotonous.
A high, ringing, hysterical laugh.
Flipe, pull yourself together.
I have been making a fool of myself.
Not at all. Drink this. And now, doctor, perhaps you would kindly attend to my thumb, or rather to the place where my thumb used to be. He unwound the handkerchief. It gave even my hardened nerves a shudder. There were 4 protruding fingers, and a horrid, red, spongy surface where the thumb should have been. It had been hacked or torn right out. Good heavens, this is a terrible injury. It must have bled considerably.
Yes, it did. I fainted when it was done. When I came to, I tied one end of my handkerchief very tightly round the wrist.
This has been done by a very heavy and sharp instrument.
A thing like a cleaver, not an accident, a very murderous attack indeed.
I sponged the wound, cleaned it, and dressed it. He lay back without wincing.
Capital. Between your brandy and your bandage, I feel a new man. I shall have to tell my tale to the police, but I should be surprised if they believed it. The clues I can give them are so vague.
Ha! If it is a problem you desire to see solved, I should strongly recommend you to come to my friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I have heard of that fellow. I should be very glad if he would take the matter up. Would you give me an introduction?
I'll do better. I'll take you round to him myself. We'll call a cab and go together. Sherlock Holmes was, as I expected, lounging in his dressing gown. He received us in his quietly genial fashion, ordered fresh rashers and eggs, and joined us in a hearty meal.
It is easy to see that your experience has been no common one, Mr. Hatherley. Pray, lie down and make yourself at home. Tell us what you can, but stop when you are tired.
Thank you. I shall start at once upon my peculiar experiences. I am an orphan and a bachelor, and a hydraulic engineer by profession. For 2 years, I have had almost no work. My heart began to sink. Yesterday, however, just as I was leaving my office, my clerk announced a gentleman. He brought up a card, Colonel Lysander Stark. Close at his heels came the colonel himself, a man of an exceeding thinness. I do not think I have ever seen so thin a man.
Mr. Hatherley, you have been recommended to me as being discreet and capable of preserving a secret.
May I ask who gave me so good a character?
Perhaps it is better that I should not tell you. I have a professional commission for you, but absolute secrecy is essential.
If I promise to keep a secret, you may absolutely depend upon my doing so.
Do you promise, then? Absolute and complete silence?
I have already given you my word. He suddenly sprang up and flung open the door. The passage was empty. He came back. Now we can talk in safety. A feeling of repulsion had begun to rise within me. I beg that you will state your business, sir. My time is of value.
How would 50 guineas for a night's work suit you?
Most admirably. He explained that he had discovered a deposit of fuller's earth on his small property, but needed capital to buy the neighboring fields where the larger deposits lay. He claimed they were secretly excavating their own deposit to raise the money, using a hydraulic press to compress the earth into bricks for removal. The press was out of order, and they needed my advice. The story seemed elaborate, but I thought of the 50 guineas. I agreed to go to Iford by the last train that night. I reached the dim-lit station after 11. The colonel was waiting. Without a word, he hurried me into a carriage, drew up the frosted glass windows, and away we went as fast as the horse could go.
One horse?
Yes, only one. A chestnut, fresh and glossy. We drove for at least an hour. The bumping of the road was exchanged for the crisp smoothness of a gravel drive. We stepped right out of the carriage and into the hall. The door slammed heavily behind us. It was pitch dark. Suddenly, a door opened, and a woman appeared with a lamp. She was pretty, and I could see she was sick with fear. The colonel whispered something to her, then showed me into a quiet little room. An oak shutter was heavily barred across the window. An old clock was ticking loudly somewhere, but otherwise everything was deadly still. Suddenly, the door swung slowly open. The woman was standing in the aperture.
I would go. I should not stay here. There is no good for you to do.
But, madam, I have not yet done what I came for.
For the love of heaven, get away from here before it is too late.
But I am somewhat headstrong. I thought of my 50-guinea fee and declared my intention of remaining. A door slammed overhead. She threw up her hands and vanished. The newcomers were the colonel and a short, thick man, Mr. Ferguson. We went upstairs together, through a labyrinth of an old house. The colonel stopped at a low door and unlocked it. Within was a small, square room.
We are now actually within the hydraulic press. The ceiling is the end of the descending piston. It comes down with the force of many tons. There is some stiffness in the working of it. Perhaps you will have the goodness to look it over.
I found a slight leakage caused by a shrunken India rubber band. I explained how to fix it, then returned to the main chamber. It was obvious the story of the fuller's earth was a fabrication. The floor was an iron trough with a crust of metallic deposit all over it. I was scraping at this when I heard an exclamation.
What are you doing there?
I felt angry. I was admiring your fuller's earth, I said. I think I should be better able to advise you if I knew the exact purpose for which it was used. I regretted the words instantly. His face set hard.
Very well. You shall know all about the machine.
He stepped backward, slammed the little door, and turned the key. I rushed towards it, but it was secure. Hello, Colonel! Let me out! Let me in! Right. And then I heard a sound which sent my heart into my mouth. It was the clank of the levers. He had set the engine at work. The black ceiling was going down upon me with a force which must grind me to a shapeless pulp. Already I was unable to stand erect when my eye caught something. A thin line of yellow light between two of the boards. A small panel was pushed backward. The next instant, I threw myself through and lay half fainting on the other side. The panel closed. The ash of the lamp and the clang of the metal slabs told me how narrow had been my escape. I was recalled by a frantic plucking at my wrist. The woman was bent over me. Come, come, they will be here in a moment. This time, I did not scorn her advice. We ran along the corridor and down a winding stair. We heard running feet and shouting. She threw open a bedroom door.
It is your only chance. It is high, but it may be that you can jump it.
A light sprang into view. I saw the lean figure of Colonel Stark rushing forward with a lantern and a weapon like a butcher's cleaver. I rushed across the bedroom, flung open the window, and clambered out upon the sill. He was at the door, pushing past her.
Fritz, remember your promise. He will be silent. Oh, he will be silent. Oh, he will be silent.
You are mad, Elise. You will be the ruin of us. He had seen too much. Let me pass.
He dashed her aside and cut at me. I had let myself go and was hanging by my hands when his blow fell. I was conscious of a dull pain. My grip loosened and I fell into the garden below. I was shaken but not hurt. I rushed off among the bushes. Suddenly, a deadly dizziness came over me. I saw my thumb had been cut off. I fell in a dead faint. When I came to, a bright morning was breaking. Neither house nor garden were to be seen. I was lying by the high road, a little way from the very station I had arrived at.
We both sat in silence. Then Sherlock Holmes pulled down a commonplace book.
Here is an advertisement which will interest you. It appeared a year ago, lost on the 9th inst. Mr. Jeremiah Haling, age 26, a hydraulic engineer. Ha! That represents the last time that the colonel needed to have his machine overhauled, I fancy.
Good heavens! Then that explains what the girl said.
Undoubtedly. The colonel is a cool and desperate man. Well, every moment now is precious. We shall go down to Scotland Yard at once as a preliminary to starting for Iford.
Some 3 hours later, we were all in the train. Holmes, the engineer, Inspector Bradstreet, a plainclothesman, and myself. Bradstreet was drawing a circle with a 10-mile radius from Iford on a map.
There you are. The place we want must be somewhere near that line. I say it is south.
You are all wrong. This is my point.
He placed his finger in the center of the circle.
But the 12-mile drive?
6 out and 6 back. Nothing simpler. How could the horse be fresh and glossy if it had gone 12 miles over heavy roads?
Indeed, it is a likely ruse enough. Of course, there can be no doubt as to the nature of this gang.
None at all. They are coiners on a large scale. They have used the machine to form the amalgam which has taken the place of silver.
But the inspector was mistaken. As we rolled into Iford Station, we saw a gigantic column of smoke streaming up from behind a clump of trees.
A house on fire?
Yes, sir. Dr. Becker's house. Broke out during the night.
Tell me, is Dr. Becher a German, very thin, with a long, sharp nose?
No, sir. Dr. Becher is an Englishman, but he has a patient staying with him, a foreigner who looks as if a little good Berkshire beef would do him no harm.
We hastened in the direction of the fire. There was a great whitewashed building, spouting fire at every chink and window.
That's it. There is the gravel drive and the rose bushes where I lay. That second window is the one that I jumped from.
Well, at least you have had your revenge upon them. It was your oil lamp which set fire to the wooden walls. Keep your eyes open for your friends, though I fear they are a good 100 miles off by now.
And Holmes's fears came to be realized. From that day to this, no word has ever been heard of the beautiful woman, the sinister German, or the morose Englishman. The firemen were much perturbed by discovering a newly severed human thumb upon a windowsill. The soft mold told us that Hatherley had been carried down by 2 persons, one with small feet and the other with large ones. Most likely the woman and the silent Englishman, who was less murderous than his companion.
Well, it has been a pretty business for me. I have lost my thumb and a 50-guinea fee. What have I gained?
Experience. Indirectly, it may be of value, you know. You have only to put it into words to gain the reputation of being excellent company for the remainder of your existence.